What's going on, everybody? Love and Bravo here. Guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about those. This video is really to help a lot of those that are interested in joining the military. But of course, not everything in the military is as peachy as people want to make it seem, or recruiters want to make it seem. So I created 7 things that if you have any of these type of traits, or if this is something that you happen to do on a regular basis, that I would tell you maybe to not consider the military, because the military is very different than any other job that you would ever have. It's very structured, and there's a lot of things that you should really consider before making this big decision. All right, guys. Let me tell you guys a little bit about myself. I am a retired Sergeant First Class in the United States Army. Served for 22 years. I'm a combat veteran. Served 3 times in Iraq, and been able to do a lot of things during my military career. So I wanted to make this video just to help a lot of you folks out there that are interested in joining the military, but maybe have a little bit of reservations within what you guys are going through. And I just want to tell you guys that if you have 7 of these things that I'm going to mention, I would tell you to not even waste your time about joining the military or even calling a recruiter. So number 1 would be, if you are a person that has a hard time following directions, following certain things that are being told to you, and you don't do them in a manner which is efficient, I will tell you that you're going to have a really hard time in the military, because as I stated before, in the military, everything's structured and everything has a way of things that are being done. And a lot of it has to do with you being able to have good listening skills and being able to perform your duties. So that's the reason why I kind of bring up the whole simple directions. That's just being asked to do a simple thing, be there at a certain time, and have the proper uniform or whatever the case may be. And if you can't follow those simple directions, you will have a hard time in the military. So I would tell you, if you are that type of person that has a tendency of maybe forgetting when somebody tells you something to do, I can tell you, you will have a hard time, and you will be seriously reprimanded by drill sergeants once you get to basic training. So, and in most cases, within the first week, a lot of people end up either quitting or just don't want to do it anymore. So just something for you guys to think about. My number 2 trait would be if you are not a morning person. Now, I can understand that, like in certain type of jobs within the military, not everything is done in the morning. Sometimes a lot of people work in the evening or whatever the case may be. It all depends on their MOS, or military occupation specialty. But for the most part, a majority of the stuff, missions and everything that needs to be done, is done at the very early stages of the day. There's a saying that, most soldiers have a tendency of doing more by 9 o'clock than most civilians do in a day. And I can tell you that that's usually pretty right, because by the time 9 o'clock hits, a lot of stuff is already done. So just something for you guys to think about if you happen to be thinking about joining the military. Okay, number 3 is if your political views or religious views get in the way of doing your job, I could tell you, do not join the military. You're going to have a really hard time, because to a certain point, they're going to be able to respect your views. But to a certain point, we still have a mission to accomplish. And it's going to create a lot of friction between you and the chain of command. And I can tell you from experiences that, in most cases, it doesn't always go your way, because it's just like anything else. A lot of the military has regulations. And we understand that, as much as we want to cater to soldiers' religious views or whatever the case may be, when it comes to freedom of religion and being able to practice your religion is a different story. But, having an opinion that is contrary to what we believe in the military, that's where it's going to get you in trouble. So, if you're one of those types that feels like you can be an activist on the weekend and still be a soldier during the week, I will tell you, you're going to have a hard time with it. So, I'm not trying to tell you not to, see your views as a citizen, because we all have that right as a citizen, but you need to understand that, you are held at a higher standard when you're in the military. And sometimes, as much as a lot of us want to be as vocal as we want about political views or religious views, we have a tendency of staying as neutral as we can, just so that, it doesn't interfere with your military career. So that's something that I would encourage a lot of you guys to do. But of course, I'm sure going to get some comments about this, and a lot of people are going to maybe not agree with what I have to say, but I'm just telling you from experiences, guys. I would tell you to keep your political and religious views to a minimum, and keep those in privately, not when you're wearing the uniform. All right. Number 4, if you are the entitled person, the one that feels that you should get whatever you need to get, or you should have got promoted at a certain time frame, or whatever the case may be, if you're one of these people that think that you're going to be entitled just like you were in the civilian world, and that's going to be in the military, you're going to have a really hard time with it. Because everything in the military, it's earned. Nothing is given to you. Everything that you do throughout your military career, you're going to have to earn it. So there's no entitlements in the military. So you need to understand that before you decide to sign the dotted line. Okay? Okay, number 5. If you have a medical condition and you're trying to hide it, I can guarantee you, most likely it's going to be exposed during basic training or your individual advanced training. Okay? I would tell you guys, don't lie on your medical stuff, because whatever you put down on paper, you need to understand that stuff is you're basically saying you're good to go before you join the military, and then all of a sudden you start telling about a recurrent injury that you had in high school and you didn't tell anybody about it. You could face UCMJ or court martial because of stuff like that, because it's that big of a deal, guys. Because you need to understand that, we understand that, when you're in the military, you're going to have, bumps and bruises and wears and tears on your body. But obviously, the military does not want to pay for medical injuries that were not during your time in the military. And I've seen people that have lost rank. I've seen people that have been kicked out of the military for that stuff. So I am just telling you guys from experience, as somebody who's actually done court-martial proceedings on people, it's not something I enjoy doing. It's something that I really hated about my job, but it was, everybody knows the rules. So I'm just letting you know before you join the military that that's something you should definitely not do. Okay, number 6. If you are not a self-starter, meaning, if you see something wrong and you don't try to fix it, and you wait for your supervisor or for somebody to tell you that it needs to be fixed, you're going to have a hard time in the military. I can tell you that, because everybody in the military is pretty much a self-starter. Everybody's pretty much somebody who, takes a lot of pride in their unit, takes a lot of pride in what they do. And, we have a tendency of training our people to be self-starters, to make sure that they do what's right, regardless whether somebody's there to tell them or not. So just understand that if you're not that type of person or has that mentality, you're going to have a really hard time fitting in the military. Okay, guys. So the last one, not least, if you are not physically fit, or you just did enough for you to pass what you need to pass in order for you to go to MEPS and then go into basic training, I can tell you that you are going to really know what is it to get, to be going through some ordeals. And I can tell you that because I went through Fort Benning, Georgia, home of the infantry, by the way, and there was a lot of people that ended up failing, physical evaluations, and they had a really hard time trying to keep up with the rest of the class, and majority of them ended up getting kicked out or dropped. So I can tell you guys that a lot of things that I'm telling you from experience. As somebody who's done the hiring and firing of a lot of soldiers, as somebody who has seen the good and the bad about the military, the biggest problem that we have is we have a lot of people that try to join the military and think that in many ways it's like the civilian world where you're kind of entitled to a lot of the things when it comes to your opinion or how things are done. You need to understand in the military everything's structured and everything is earned, nothing is given. And I'm making this video just to kind of help a lot of you folks out there that might be in the might be in that bubble, or whether you're thinking about joining or not. And I'm hoping that this kind of like opens up your eyes and lets you know that sometimes the military is not what it's cracked up to be, and it's not really for everybody. So that is all I got, guys. If you guys have any questions, comments, please feel free to leave them. Try to keep them as professional as possible. I would really appreciate that. Also, understand that this is my opinion. This is not the opinion of the military or any members of the military. This is strictly my opinion from 22 years of service and all the stuff that I went through with many of my soldiers. And I'm just trying to speak the truth, guys, and trying to tell you guys what are some of the things that you're going to expect in joining the military. So this is one video. The next video is going to be the benefits of joining the military and some of the things that you can benefit from. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that video. And like always, God bless you. God bless the United States of America. And I'm out.